Today, I'm going to be doing a bit of a different video in which I wanted to discuss what ride Kings Island could be getting next. A lot of videos ago, I made a video about what rides that Kings Island should add, and that is a little bit different from this one, being that those were the ones that I wanted, while this one is strictly talking about possible rides that could get added and could be feasibly being added. But other than that little caveat, let's just dive straight into it. So the title is slightly clickbait, being that a lot of people are wondering what they could add when we already have a rough idea of what the next ride would be. Six Flags months ago released the rides that would be coming to all of its parks in 2025 and 2026, and Kings Island was mentioned out of all the parks listed. And sadly, for 2025, it was listed as a family thrill ride, and other than that, no other details. And Six Flags saying just a family thrill ride doesn't really narrow it down to what it could be exactly, and they didn't even mention if it would be a roller coaster or not, so it could just be a flat ride. We don't really know. But I wanted to talk about what are some rides that I think realistically could be added. First one that I think could happen, but a lot of people would be very against it, would be a Vekoma launch coaster in the Vortex plot, very similar to Big Bear Mountain at Dollywood. I think this actually has a very high chance of happening, but out of all possibilities, I think this would be the worst one. Now, the ride would be good, meaning that Big Bear Mountain is a good family coaster, but this would just be a salt in the wound to a lot of KI fans. Vortex was so beloved, it's such a big plot of land to be used on just a kids coaster, and Kings Island's last thrill ride was 2020 with Orion, and 6 years without a major coaster for a park of Kings Island's caliber would be a very sad thing to see. But sadly, I think this ride does have a super high chance of coming to Kings Island. But if we did get this ride, it wouldn't be awful, being that Big Bear Mountain has gotten rave reviews since it's open, and it's definitely different from the other family coasters at the park, even if we don't really need it. This would just be a gut punch for OG fans, and definitely would not be my choice for a new ride for Kings Island to add. Next up is another roller coaster, but it would be a dark coaster like family coaster. Again, this is one that I think has like a 40% chance of happening, and that is for a couple of reasons. First, it's a family coaster, so that checks out, and another reason is Kings Island released a survey many months ago, in which one of the options on that survey was an indoor family coaster that had photos listed that looked very similar to a dark coaster-esque ride. Now, this coaster is one that a lot of people really wouldn't want, but if we are getting a family coaster no matter what, I think this is the one that I would want added. There really aren't that many good themed roller coasters at Kings Island, so I think that'd be a good step up, and the only other indoor coaster is Flight of Fear. I don't really know where they would add this ride, maybe the old Tomb Raider building, or maybe they just built something from the ground up. But I would slightly prefer this over the family coaster, being the theming inside would be cool, and they could theme it in many different ways. And of course, it wouldn't be taking up the Vortex plot, which is the main thing, because I really want a thrill coaster to be added there. But the final ride I will be talking about today is some sort of flat ride. Since Six Flags never said it was specifically a roller coaster, it could just be a family flat ride or something like that. I don't know exactly what type of flat ride, being that I don't know a lot about flat rides, but I think this could be a possibility, even if it has a smaller % chance. I don't think it has a super high chance of happening. I actually think it has the lowest chance out of everything on this list. But still, being that they never said it was a roller coaster, I still think it has a chance. And I think if they were going to go this route, I think that they should use the old Tomb Raider building. That place hasn't been used for a ride in years, and it just stood dormant. I think it's used for, like, different storage now, but they can move that somewhere else and put a ride here. And it could be a good idea to throw some sort of themed flat ride attraction in this place. The park would have to get pretty creative with what they put in here, since it's not a whole lot of room, but if they could theme it well, I believe it could be a good ride. And if a roller coaster isn't added, I think this is the best possible outcome, since a good themed ride is something Kings Island kind of lacks, and the closest thing KI has to that is Boo Blasters, which was, it's like from the 70s. We need something more towards that, but just newer. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the shorter video, but I kind of just wanted to talk about Kings Island's next ride, since we don't really know what it is, but we kind of know, I guess. But just tell me what you guys think realistically what Kings Island could get. But other than that, have a good day.